On September 13th, 2012, students from the Burns Sci-Tech Charter School in Oak Hill, Florida, spoke with astronaut Sunita Williams traveling aboard the International Space Station. The length of the conversation with the space station was only about 9 minutes, but the success was the result of 6 months of planning. The amazing thing is that many other events took 1 to 2 years of planning, and some were much less successful. The Daytona Beach Amateur Radio Association provided the technical support, and before the antennas could be raised and the radios connected, the plans had to be made. Volunteers were accepted for various jobs, which often would overlap to ensure that everything would be ready on the contact day. The contact day would be chosen by NASA, and all that was known is that the day would be in the middle of September. The timing of the day would depend on orbital mechanics and astronauts' work schedules. There could be no delays and no do-overs. The planning meetings involved the hams of the Daytona Beach Amateur Radio Association, teachers from Burns Sci-Tech Charter School, and other interested volunteers. The week before this contact, 2 other schools' hopes were dashed when equipment failures aboard the International Space Station resulted in their contact days being canceled. So even if all the plans were perfect and all the promises were kept, there still could be hundreds of people disappointed on contact day.
George, how are we going to get those back out? We'll have to leave half of it out to have a chance of getting it out at all. You guys are rookies. That's this one.
The antennas would need to track the space station as it passed overhead, so it would require a tower to raise the antennas off the ground so that they would not strike people while tracking.
This is now the primary. It's now the primary. We won't have time to go through
Talking to the station requires a radio transceiver, which would need to be connected to the antennas and tested. The first testing session failed because an important cable was bad and had to be replaced. Without the testing, this would have been an embarrassing and sad event, not being able to contact the space station after all the months of planning. Let's listen in to the second testing session.
What are we doing today?
We're doing a eavesdrop test on the space station that's going over a school in what city? Chicago?
I don't know.
Okay. And we're going to see if we can monitor the communication downlink from this space station.
That's wrong.
Actually, a little bit more than I expected.
That's
Much more
right.
than I
This says
expected.
it's passed.
I, of course, wanted to be an astronaut because I thought it was
still
cool
got,
and it would be fun, and it's more than cool. It's
according
fun.
to this,
It's really interesting. I've learned
got
so much
about
about
20
science
seconds
and
left.
taking care of the station like I was just talking about.
While the hams were building and testing the technology needed for the contact, the teachers and students were practicing for contact day. Each student wrote their own question. The teachers and the hams had each student read their question over the school's ham radio station to a ham pretending to be an astronaut. This allowed the students to overcome the dreaded mic fright, which happens to people not familiar with public speaking. Let's watch the result of all this planning and training.
November Alpha 1, Sierra Sierra, KK4, KTJ. We copy you. Copy us.
I copy you a little bit weak, but I can hear you. Over.
Roger, Roger. Are you ready?
Ready for questions, and welcome Burns Sci-Tech Charter School to the International Space Station. Over.
Thank you very much. Here we go.
KK4 KTJ, this is Burns Sci-Tech Charter School with Principal Dr. McGee and the Daytona Beach Ham Radio Club. Thank you for inviting us, and here we're going to go with the first question.
Izzy, how do you keep your food cold? Do you have a refrigerator over?
We do cold water and then put it in the refrigerator. Sometimes we want to make something hot, like soup, and put hot water in and then eat it hot. Over.
Hi, my name's Tristan. What do you miss the most about the Earth? Over.
Oh, I really miss my dog, and today is his birthday. He's 11 years old. He's a little Jack Russell Terrier, and when I take him for a walk, I usually feel wind on my face or sand in my feet at the beach, and really those things about the planet are what I really miss. Over.
Hi, I'm Finn Sherman. What food do you miss the most while in space? Over.
Well, I'm up here because we don't have a lot of bread. When you have bread up here, it makes crumbs and then it gets everywhere because it floats around, even gets in your hair. So I miss pizza and I want to have pizza when I come home. Over.
Hi, this is Carly. What is the brightest city you can see from space, and how do you know it's that city? Over.
Well, it's sort of difficult at times to know which city is which, but sometimes it's easiest when they're on the coast by the ocean or a lake, so then you can see that that part is dark. But really, the brightest cities I've seen are over in the Middle East, because you can tell that people use different types of light, and over there it's very bright. Over.
This is Mila. What is one project you are working on now? Over.
Wow, well, we're doing a lot of experiments on ourselves to find out what happens to our bone density and our muscle mass up here, particularly in our legs, because we don't walk for the whole time, 4 months while we're up here. So for me, that's very interesting because it'll help us know what happens to people when they stay in space for a long time. Over.
This is Callie. How do you get oxygen on the ISS? Over.
Great question. Sometimes we get it shipped up when we have some visiting spacecraft, but we actually make oxygen by splitting water, H2O, into hydrogen, H, and oxygen, O, and that's how we get our oxygen. Over.
Hello, this is Mickey, and does being in space affect your metabolism? Are you hungrier or less hungry in space? Over.
The question was, does being in space affect your metabolism? And yeah, we're trying to figure that out, and people typically lose weight up here because you're not very hungry, and also your body metabolizes food differently. For example, we don't need as much bone density, so some of the calcium comes out of our bones while we're up here, and so we're trying to learn about that. Over.
Hi, this is Jared Armstrong. When you were on a spacewalk, were you ever afraid? Over.
You know, we have a lot of things to do while we're out there, so I wasn't really afraid. But at the end of the spacewalk, you want to really make sure that you come in and don't forget your tools and make sure you don't get tangled up because you're getting to the end of your limit of carbon dioxide removal and oxygen. So that always makes me a little bit nervous. Over.
Hi, this is Tori. What do you have Robonaut 2 doing on the ISS now? Over.
Robonaut 2 has been doing all sorts of interesting things, actually. He's got what they call a busy board, where he can push buttons, activate switches, and last 2 weeks ago, I think we had him with wiping down a handrail with a tissue. Over.
How do you take a bath in space? Over.
So very interesting question. Luckily, it's not that dirty up here, so we don't get really dirty. Sometimes we get sweaty, though, because we work out, we run, or we bicycle, or lift weights. And so you take like a bath by putting warm soapy water on a washcloth and then rinsing it off. Washing your hair is even a little bit more difficult than that because it takes some time and you have to worry about the water going everywhere. Over.
Hi, this is Finn Sherman. I'm in the second grade. What do I need to learn so I could become an astronaut? Over.
Well, I think some of the things you need to learn are fun things like science and understanding a little bit about math. Those are the key elements of being an investigator, a scientist, an engineer, a veterinarian, a doctor. So those are the cornerstones, and then from there you can do anything you want to do. Over.
Hi, this is Carly. What planets can you see from the ISS? Over.
Carly, that's a very interesting question. You know, we're not that far. We're only about 250 miles or 400 kilometers above the Earth. So we're relative to how far the stars are, we're not that much closer. So we see the planets and the stars sort of like you do. So when in the night sky you see Jupiter or Venus or Mars, we see the same. They're just very clear. Over.
This
is Mila. What did you learn in space that surprised you? Over.
Wow, that's an interesting question. I think what surprised me was the things that we do subconsciously, like sleeping or eating. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult in space. I opened a bag of peanuts and I lifted them above my head to make them fall in my mouth. And of course, in space that's not going to work. They just float it out. And the things that you think of that are unconscious that you do naturally with gravity are the things that are surprising. Over.
This is Callie. Do you ever get claustrophobic? And if so, what can you do about it? Over.
You know, I have never got claustrophobic. This spacecraft here has about, 10 modules, and so it takes about, 30 to 40 seconds to fly from one end to the other, so it's pretty big. Our spacecraft that brought us up here, the Soyuz, is a little bit smaller, but we only spend a couple days in there coming up to the space station and about a half a day coming home, so, and you're very busy. So when you're busy, you don't seem like you get worried about that stuff. Over.
Hello, this is Mickey, and how do you recycle water to drink on the ISS? Over.
Was this a question about being hungry in space? Over.
How do you drink water? How do you recycle water to drink on the ISS? Over.
Water, very interesting question also. Well, we use normal water that we have up here, shipped up here, that we also can make condensate and even pee, your urine, we can clean it through filters and bring it back into clean drinking water. Over.
This is Jared. We have our own ham radio club. When is the best time to make an unscheduled contact with the ISS? Over.
Oh, wow. Very cool. I'm glad you do. Congratulations. I think probably in the morning, because we usually use Greenwich Mean Time, which means we wake up about 4 or 5 hours earlier than most people in the United States. And so probably in the morning is good for us, which is our afternoon. Over.
Hi, this is Tori. Do you think that mankind or families will ever be able to live in space? Over.
I think so for sure. Like I said, there's many things that we need to still find out about what happens to the human body, but I think people will definitely be able to live in space and travel in space in time. I talked about bones, so I worry about kids growing up and their bones being a little bit different from being in space, so we just have to work on that. Over.
This is Jared. Who or what inspired you to become an astronaut? Over.
Wow, probably the spirit of adventure and exploration. I think all of us have it. I was in the Navy, and there's a big Navy tradition of astronauts, and I heard about it.
Burns Sci-Tech Charter School and Amateur Ham Radio Club from Daytona Beach 2012 that you got to talk to the astronauts. Mr. Daniels, let's have him come on over here and come on, we're going to come up here for a picture. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Everybody, let's go. Izzy. Tristan, stand right here. And Izzy gets one. Did you get one? Here's one for Finn.
Turn around.
Here is one. Third, fourth, fifth. Let's give these kids another round of applause. We've had 19 questions. 19 questions we got answered. You just did such an awesome job. Okay, make sure you stay right here. Let's line up nicely against there so they can take a picture. Of course, I have to add a fundraiser in here. We are selling these coins. We have these coins, $2 each. You are welcome to take them home. We do have some for our special guests, too, so we deeply appreciate it. I am so proud of all of you. You did a great job. Thank you. more things to do. Do you want to wait until we're all done? Yes. No, we have a couple other things to do. Okay, can you wait one more minute? Okay, guys, just have a seat, relax on the stage. You can relax a minute, okay? I'm just awestruck. Talking with the astronauts in space is something that I never imagined. As a little kid, wow, this is just awesome. Today proved me wrong. Neil Armstrong said, "Mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis of man's desire to understand." We have a lot more understanding to do, and our students in our school are up to that challenge. So thank you, ISS. Thank you, Daytona Beach Amateur Radio Group. We have so many people to thank who really put a lot of time. We have spent Saturdays here. We have spent Sundays here, Josh, huh? Josh feels like he lives here. And then they would check something else. And then they think they need to put the tower just a little bit higher. And they would get on the roof and made me very, very nervous. But we had computers going. And these men and women from this amateur radio club have done such awesome work with all of us. And our kids do thank you. I wrote everybody down on that list, and I sure hope I didn't miss anybody. But I do want to thank Josh Daniels, who stepped up to the plate to take the lead here at the school. David Braytrex, who is not here today, but who helped us write the proposal and has been a very strong supporter. John Cicero, where are you? Where are you, John? He always likes to take a back seat. Did he leave?
No, he's here.
Okay. That's right. Without John and George, because I have to tell you, both of these men are what brought the Amateur Radio Club to us. So, George, where are you?
Right there.
See you out. We thank you. Yay! And we thank John wherever he may be. And Dave, come on, step forward here. Dave has been a mentor between Houston and us as a school and has done an awesome job, and we've loved having you here, and it's not going to be the last time. We are going to do this again. I promise you.
I want to say that this has been one of the most successful events I've ever experienced. I've been through probably 10 of these, and this was one of the best and most
He says he's been through 10 of these, and this is by far one of the best ones. But with all that said and done, there is just one more person that I haven't thanked yet. And without this would never, ever have happened. And I'm going to tell you about this gentleman. You know, I can remember he brought this proposal to me, and he said, "Okay, I want to meet with you, I want to meet with you." And I think this was back in October when we just first opened. So you know how crazy we were. We were trying to get the school open and doing a lot of things. So he kept on our case, and I kept on our case and kept on our case. And I still hadn't done it because it was on my list to do, write this proposal. But I kept saying, "We'll get it, don't worry, Ed, we'll get it. Come on up here, Ed." The day, what do you remember the day this proposal was due? What month was that? November, December, something like that. But every day, you know, and it was on my list to do, but I had this big long list of stuff that needed to be done. So it was there and it kept moving up, but I wasn't moving fast enough for Mr. Ed. Now, for those of you who don't know Mr. Ed, Mr. Ed has worked with our kids. He has helped them build rockets. He has shared so many NASA pictures with us because he used to be a photographer there. And he has volunteered at our school. He has taught our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade exploratory activities, after-school activities. This man was probably here as long, well, maybe not quite as much as I was, but you were here pretty much. And the day he came in, he got mad at me, and he left my office and said, forget it, I saw that webinar, and these people have been working really hard. They've been working too long, a whole year on this, and we're not going to get this done in just a couple weeks. I said, Ed, trust me, we'll get it done, don't worry about it. He left my office, and then I got panicky, and I opened the proposal and thought, okay, yeah, I think we better get started on this, because it was pretty thick. And so we dished out, because the one thing Burns Sci-Tech Charter School is we're a team. So all I had to do was look at that. I gave him the one for the ham radio people, and he really met with George and John and got that question together. I did several questions. I gave science questions to Mr. Daniels. Miss Graytrex did questions, and we pulled that all together, and we won't tell them that we turned it in.
You almost mailed it, and we wouldn't be here today. But I caught them, and they emailed it in, and we made it.
Yay! Like 1 hour for the deadline. So that's how close we made it. But we wrote an awesome proposal, and lo and behold, in May, this man come dancing into our school saying, oh, we got it. I said, did you have any doubt? So we are really excited. So Mr. Ed, if you wouldn't have brought it to my attention, we would have never. And the students and the school would like to thank you. This says to Mr. Ed Ahrensbeck, thank you for making the ARIS project possible. Burns Sci-Tech Charter School staff and students. September 13th.
This is my first-hand manager. He worked with me when I first had my first class here, and he's still with me now. And as time goes on, we all get older, and I am, and I'm going to try to pass everything I've got onto this man to keep it going. And I'm going to sit on a cloud someday. I'm going to make sure he is.
Thank you, Ed. Ed does a lot with the Elks, and you brought a lot of people with you. Would you like to introduce the people from the Elks that are here?
First one I want to introduce here is Marianne Bushy. She is our reporter, photographer, and everything for our Central District. And I would like to have her introduce who we have here. Excuse me, this is for the Elks Club. I'm sorry. I'm excited right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to introduce our District Deputy Grand Exalted Ruler of the Elks, Patricia Ella Jackson. She is with the Port Orange Air Our East Central District Vice President, Thomas Brand. He is from our Palm Coast Elks Lodge. Also, I'd like to introduce a member from the Edgewater Elks Lodge, Susan Best. She's a lodge trustee.
It belongs to me.
More than you guys did. We as Elks were very excited to be here today, and I know for me it was an awesome thing just to see these young people here experience talking to our space astronauts, and I hope in the future it happens again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, this is where I say I'm under a time restraint again, because in about 20 minutes, you're going to see everybody come in here for dismissal. So I really want to thank all of you, and I really would like to thank all of you. You have been awesome, Wally and Dennis, and thank you so very, very much. Is there anybody from your group that would like to say a few things? I have no idea where John is, and he told me he wasn't going to talk, but he's bashful. I'll tell you what, he takes the center lead there when you have meetings, but he's hidden on us, so I don't know where he is. So, George, where were you? Anybody? Art.
Art will always say.
Always try to like when I used to be in politics. But we have so many ham radio community members and club members, people who are not club members. We pulled a lot of things together. Tug is out there somewhere. I hope somebody can tug him into here. That's John. That's his call sign, K4TUG. A lot of us go by call signs. There's a lot of folks that don't even know the other person's real name because they call them by call signs all the time. But there was a lot of work that you don't see. The setting up the antennas so that we could rotate them and follow the station, it was a big project, and Wally worked real hard on that. And Dennis, I forget your name. Nick, I should have remembered Nick. And they, she's got the list with all the names of the folks, and surely there's people on here that helped that didn't get their name listed, but it was all just to help these kids with the STEM, because there's too many FCAT tests and too many things that are being taught to the kids rather than the basics of science, technology, engineering, and math. Because when you learn STEM, you can go anywhere. And we've been to the moon. It was science, technology, engineering, and math that put the late Neil Armstrong on there and on the moon. And I was, like these kids when the moon landings were happening, and I think back to Neil Armstrong, and I think back, I think back to Pete Conrad. If he was the third man on the moon, he was the first man from the second expedition. And people wonder, what did Columbus say when he landed in his second expedition? I don't think anybody knows. But I remember what Pete Conrad said as he's going down the ladder to step on the moon. He goes, "Whoopee! That may have been a small one for Neil, but it was surely a big one for me." Because he was the shortest astronaut in the Corps. And so it proves that short, tall, doesn't matter. There is a place out there for everybody, and if you learn STEM, you can go places. And that's what I'd like to remind the kids. How's that?
That's beautiful. We have another momentum. It says, our school spoke to the ISS, September 2012, Burns Sci-Tech Charter School, Oak Hill, Florida. This is one of our new fundraisers. Again, I have to put in that, science, technology, engineering, and math is very expensive. So, if you'd like to have one of these license plates, it costs $18. Please see Judy, she's around, and we will take orders. You have been an awesome audience. The kids are awesome, and I just am excited that, and I still can't get over that we talked to an astronaut in space. I'm just awed by that. So I thank you all and appreciate you sharing this day with us. Thank you. They do want to take some pictures, so please stay here for the elks and the kids, and would you like to take some too? Okay, absolutely. So please stick around, and Joey Alexander, Linda Hyatt, the people from Oak Hill City, please come on up here and stay with us.